peace, y'all. Hope you're doing well. I'm out here working. Anyway, today we get to play with a pruning technique that I've been wanting to play with now for years, along with a tree I've been wanting to play with for even longer. So this is kind of like a twofer. We get to do it both in the same time. So anyway, subscribe, do all that good stuff. And in case you don't know, what's good, y'all? My name is Justin. And this is my under a quarter of an acre market garden. This little plot that could pays for this house. Not to mention been known to feed me and my family from time to time. So if you're into how to grow videos and gardening vlogs on how to grow food for you and your family, make a little bit of coin. Let's get down, yo.
Land to do.
So as the title probably suggests, today we're gonna be playing around with some Espalier or Espalier. I don't know exactly how you pronounce it, so no disrespect. Anyhow, but we're also going to be playing around with now a bit of a classic, one that's been around for a little bit of time. However, it's one that I've been wanting to have in my collection for a long time, and that is the jujube. All right, so Espalier, man, this is the way I see it. It's kind of like a combination of a pruning and trellising technique, which normally just kind of goes into trellising. A lot of times you'll often find people with Espalier, you'll have a couple lines going back and forth. Even though I do have wire, I have this already here established, and I've been wanting to turn this section that we're in now into a perennial section anyway. And Espalier really allows that. It allows me to now take perennials and actually be able to put them in a small space, you know what I mean? Just by the way that they're grown. So ideally, this jujube, this is a jujube leaf for my birthday, y'all. Yeah, great birthday gift. All right, y'all, now I'm gonna be 100 with you. When it comes to Espalier, a jujube, in my opinion, is not the ideal plant, although you can Espalier anything, for the most part, any kind of tree. At least that's been said. There are ones that I feel kind of work better. The reason I am choosing to go ahead and do an Espalier with my jujube is more or less because of the way it grows, which is exactly the reason I feel as though I don't want to do, I shouldn't do it that way. But what's really trumping me in the way that it grows is these, y'all. You see those spikes? Yeah, those are no joke. How could something so sweet be so painful, man? But oftentimes it's kind of like that. But anyway, I figure if I Espalier this, at least to the best of my ability, I'll be able to get a lot of really great fruit out of this, as well as not get nicked by any of these little gnarly spikes this damn tree likes to put out. Because it looks like it likes to protect itself in a real way. It knows that it's delicious. The good thing about it is the way that it actually will grow in. This all is, I'm assuming last year's wood, but what's gonna end up happening is from a lot of these buds here, we're gonna start getting new growth, right? And that new growth won't have any of these spikes on it. It doesn't start getting those spikes until it gets a little bit harder. Also, jujube grows pretty wild. It actually starts growing these small little branches off the second earwood. It begins to grow fruiting branches, right? And they're really thin. And then what ends up happening with them, this might be a remnant of one, maybe, no, I doubt it. What begins to happen then is the following year, the branch, the leaves, everything just goes away. They're very thin, very, very small. Jujubes, for those who do not know, are known as a Chinese date. In fact, that's kind of the reason I'm actually growing them here, most so for their sugar content. I'm really into growing my own sugar, or producing a lot of our own sugar around this area. And so I want to have a lot of these things so that I can now either dehydrate or freeze dry and then turn into like a syrup, powder, or, you know, just be able to turn it into a syrup just from the fruit itself, as well as just enjoy the fruit. So let's get into Espalier in this thing now. All right, y'all, so I'm gonna go ahead and just start pruning this thing back. Actually, I already had to top it. It's right there, just to get into the car when we were at the nursery. So for all intent and purposes, y'all, there's really not much to this tree I'm gonna really do outside of prune back just this branch here, just because it's growing in a way I don't want it. So I'm gonna go ahead, hit it right about 2 nodes back. There's one bud, there's 2 buds. Right around this area, y'all. A branch like this, I expect fruit. And so I'm gonna cut it right there. And then I expect there to get some energy here and be able to produce fruit. And then what's gonna end up happening next season, I'll just cut that off. I figure if we have the time and it's there, I might as well take advantage of it. All right, very gingerly do my best to take this thing off. Okay, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put this into the ground. For the most part, kind of begin. Again, I don't really see myself doing very much to this tree as it stands. It's pretty much ready to rock and roll. Sucks I had to give up some of the arugula, but that's chill. The way it's looking too, man, I really don't have enough to actually even clip it to the fence from the amount of material that's actually on the tree. Like everything we grow, y'all, insect frass. This is gonna help protect my tree as it develops. Basically what that is just a bunch of insects, droppings, as well as their shells. The Cantonese is going to actually provide like a wax-like protection around my tree and then my tree's leaves. It also adds some other nutrients as well, so gotta love that. So, goal is for me to orient the tree in such a way that the branches are going to be going more linear. For an espalier, you do need a bit of distance away from your post and your tree. So I've given it right about a cool foot or so. The idea ultimately is as these things grow out, I'll begin to push them back. In the past, I have seen other people actually put their trees right against their stump. And I've seen people do like what I'm doing here. The main reason I'm doing it is because the concrete for this post is actually protruding out right about to this point. So I just wanted to make sure that the root ball was going to be not having to compete with that, so I went out a little bit further. Jujube actually grows pretty fast, so as this thing grows, I'll just in time begin to start pushing it back and then begin to clip it along the trellis here. Seeing that this thing really does not have much material, y'all, I can't really clip anything. I'm not going to clip anything for you. I'm just going to leave this terminal bud to keep on coming out and pushing out for me. It actually looks like it might try to grow out this way, so we'll have to correct that. But if that is the case, it might be another instance of me just kind of leaving it just to get the most fruit off of this tree as I possibly can. It's a young tree, yeah, you know what I'm saying? So I can definitely afford to allow this thing to kind of grow out of the form of the espalier just to get the fruit for this season, and then make sure that, you know, the rest that's not in the espalier is actually in the espalier when or off of the tree altogether. When it comes time or next season, we'll definitely see about getting this tree to you guys, getting cuttings and whatnot of this tree to you guys. I'm not exactly certain as to when I'll be able to do it, but eventually we will have this going to you guys. Ultimately, seeing that I'm not going to be using this trellis for this, because this in fact is going to become the trellis. Ah, damn, see, I got caught already. Always need these, dude. I love having these around. But eventually, the idea is I will be able to kind of get it back here. As it comes to most trees, y'all, anything that I do wrap around them, I want to make sure that I'm wrapping around the lightest that it can be. I will put something behind this because we have been getting a lot of winds lately, just so this doesn't rub and damage the tree. Yeah, when you have aggressive growing trees, y'all, you have to remember that these things are going to be moving and thickening very quick. So if you can, just put something like this here. This is just like a little piece of cloth. I'll just kind of put it and sandwich it between, nothing big, just kind of sandwich it in between the zip tie and the tree, and this should keep me out of, for the most part, most trouble. Idea overall is that this tree is going to begin to now, from this point, grow pretty much straight on to this plank, and I can, for the most part, take these things off. At least that's what I'm planning to do. Yeah, right now this is more or less just me training the tree. As new growth begins, it's full of sap, so it's soft. And then of course, as that tree begins to, or that branch or that part of the tree begins to mature, it begins to lose the sap and begins to get hardened. However, sending enough information for more fruit growth as well as vegetation or leaves. Oh, here she is. So we're going to go ahead and let it rock like this for really until spring, to be honest with you. I might come back out here and clean these things up because they're a little bit bigger than I need, and I can actually probably use them maybe in this area here to help the tree kind of slowly bend in more. Probably could start doing that, yeah. Over time, just kind of slowly tighten up on my zip ties until it gets back to the position that I properly want it. Yeah. Pretty much it. Espalier. It's the way to have an orchard in your backyard if you don't have a lot of space. You know what I'm saying? Good one for me, a good one for you if you do have small space, or if you have a lot of space and you want to just cram in some more trees. I plan on having a lot of trees in this area in particular, just to add for shade. As you can see, I mean, I damaged quite a bit of the arugula here. putting this tree in. We do like a lot of tender crops throughout the course of the year in this area as well. And during summer, having a nice shade casted by a canopy was going to be really nice, especially it being perennial. Like even like last year, I put a bunch of cucumber up here. That's why we have all these. It's kind of just remnants of that, but for the most part, y'all, I think from this point forward, we'll be just putting different perennials, different apples, just different things like that along this, to let it kind of do what I want it to do, and then I don't really have to worry about much more than kind of pruning it throughout the course of the year and kind of training it and then harvesting it, of course, which is what I want to do anyway. It's the beginning stage of this Espalier. Kind of easy peasy. That's a really big, quick little video. Thanks for watching this. Catch y'all soon.